Hey everyone. So yesterday there was a thread on the Minecraft subreddit which was talking about how inefficient the text rendering is in the PC edition of Minecraft. So compared to the Pocket edition. So in the PC edition, each sort of character in a string is rendered twice. Once for the actual letter and then again for the shadow behind it. And if you have something like a 5-letter word, for example, then this whole string will be rendered 10 times in total. So twice for each character. But in the Pocket Edition, it is only rendered twice, because it collects the whole string, renders the whole string once, and then renders the shadows behind it once as well. So I just quickly wanted to test out signs, for example. They don't have the shadow in the back, but each character is still rendered individually rather than as a whole string. So I went ahead and sort of put all these signs, actually let's clear that one, put all these signs on this board here, and went to look at the frames per second. Right now I'm recording, so it's a bit lower, but it's around 120, around there. So it sort of fluctuates, but now I'm going to fill the whole board with these signs, and let's see the difference. Okay, so now we have a whole board of signs with dots or full stops or periods, whatever you want to call them, on these different signs, and already I can definitely notice a decrease in performance. You can see it's dropped right down to 60 frames per second, even less sometimes, which is definitely a significant drop if you think about it. If I go into Alt F3, for example, that's my sort of monitor's frame rate is at 60. So anything above that will definitely be noticeably laggy. And so then I sort of experimented with other things like item frames, for example, and found that this whole board filled with item frames was still less laggy than that, and even with fence gates, which according to the sort of default resource pack are the most complicated, at least in file size, the most complicated model. So I put them in each one of the item frames, and even there, actually, I'll show that now rather than just sort of explaining it. So hold on, let's just go through it all. Okay, there. So that's a whole board of item frames, and about 100 FPS. So it is a significant drop from what it was before, but still not as bad as the signs were. So let's see how it copes with fence gates inside them. Okay, so you can see around 70, 80, around 75, I guess, or maybe 80 frames per second. So you can see the drop between empty item frames and filled item frames isn't that significant. It's only around like 10-20 frames per second. And I know frames per second isn't a very good indicator, but obviously I can't easily measure the milliseconds instead. But even this lags less than a full sort of board of signs, or signs with lots of dots in them. And then I discovered this. So if I kill at a type equals item frame, and then I was going to experiment with banners instead, but when I placed the banner down, I got this, and I was like, what is going on here? And if I break one of these things and place it down again, then it's fine. But these here are actually banners, and I was confused, very confused. And I noticed that signs are tile entities, these banners are tile entities, and I thought, what other tile entities are there? So trap chest, ender chest, beacon, which has a weird sign rendering it like that. Things like furnaces and everything work too, but similar to the beacon, the sign is shown inside them, and since they have a solid texture, you can't actually see the sign unless you go inside it. I suppose I could do that. So if I place a jukebox, oh, you can sort of see it. You can see it glitching through the side there. So yeah, you can tell there's a sign in there. And I was like, what the hell is going on? You can actually open these chests as well and store things in them. So I was like, okay, well, I've definitely discovered some sort of bug, because this shouldn't be going on. Fortunately, though, it is cleared when you log out and then log back in, so you can see it all works perfectly now, and placing more banners and everything renders the right thing. And so I was trying to recreate this to sort of submit it as a bug, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong until I noticed that if I open F3, if you look at the chunk coordinates, so this sort of area here, you can see that this whole board is inside one chunk. There's a chunk edge here, and this whole thing is just inside a chunk. And so I thought, okay, it's something to do with having too many tile entities in a chunk. So the number that comes to mind is 63, and it was 63 tile entities in a chunk. So it's similar to the 63 command block clocking block limit, which I did a video on as well, which I might do another video on soon now that I understand it a bit better. But let's just do this for example. So if we fill up this board again, so this board has 63 sandstone blocks on it. And so if we put one there, and then if we fill all of that into air, then it will do the same thing as that. But I'm going to remove this one and just prove that that is the actual limit first. So if we fill this up to here with air and place banners down, everything works fine. Everything is fine. It works with chests, all that. It's fine. But then if I do the whole board, I'll quickly fast forward this part. And then I do the same thing with the fill command. Air, and then place things down. You can see that the signs are rendered instead of the banners. And what's also interesting, if you go into Game Mode 0, if you actually break these, they actually give you banners back. So they are definitely banners. I put that back in the same place, put a new one down. So they're definitely banners. And one other interesting thing is that it doesn't just work with signs, for example. It works with any tile entity that you place inside a chunk and then immediately destroy. And that's probably the most important part. Let me just relog to clear this rendering thing. So the most important part is that it has to be cleared all at once. If you sort of clear them one by one, then nothing happens. It'll be fine. Oops, what am I doing? Let's do chests now, for example. So I'm going to fill this board with chests. Okay, and now I'm going to do a fill command to get rid of them all at the same time. So air. And then if I place any other block, you can see that the chest is still rendered. So this looks very, very confusing with the beacon, the ender chest. It sort of renders in the same place as the ender chest does. And banners as well, so you can actually go through the chest, but it's still rendered as a chest. And when you use signs, it's rather interesting because it says unable to locate sign. You might have encountered that glitch a few times. So you get that glitch as well. and you can't actually see the signs either. You just see the hitbox for them. So this is a really weird sort of glitch or bug, which hopefully by the time this video is uploaded, I'll have made a bug report for, unless someone else has already made a bug report. I'm not sure if I'm new to finding this out or whether people have known for ages about this, but I thought it was worth a video. And you may be thinking, well, I've used fill commands for these so far, which isn't obviously doable in survival, and you can't actually move. If I get, for example, a sticky piston out, you can't actually move tile entities with redstone. You can, however, oops, let's get these signs out. Retract signs, for example, to destroy them instantly. And this is doable in survival. Obviously, you need a lot of pistons. I don't think you need sticky pistons. But if I just try it, you can see it says I'm getting a lot of errors now. But then if I place, oh no, it needs to be in this layer here, not that layer. So if I actually put that back, yeah, if I put that back, and then do, there we go. So it's kind of a weird bug. It's not exactly useful. I just thought it was interesting to show it off. I especially think this is really weird, having a beacon inside, or a chest inside of a beacon rather, and having chests with the end particles around them. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. Just a strange little thing that I noticed yesterday that I thought I'd do a quick video on, now that I've sort of managed to recreate the bug. And as usual, it's the 63 limit again, with how chunks sort of save data within them, I suppose. Save tile entities within them. So this doesn't work with any block. It's only tile entities like chests, things like that, signs, beacons, anything which stores data. So ender chests store their contents, chests store their contents, jukeboxes store the music disc which is inside them, signs store text, note blocks store the note that's inside them, things like that. So yeah, anyway, that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.